Breaking news. Beryl becomes the 5th category storm, the most powerful hurricane of the Atlantic season. Southeastern Caribbean. The storm named Hurricane Beryl has upgraded to Cat 5 and is raising concern while moving across the islands in the Caribbean. This quick development puts the storm into Category 5 as one of the strongest of the season in Beryl. Wind speed. Winds continuing for more than 15 minutes with over 157 miles per hour or 252 kilometers/a. Path. It has been advancing in the westerly and northwesterly direction through the southeastern Caribbeans. These islands are having a calamitous weather, characterized by heavy rains, strong winds that might be destructive and storm surges that could be lethal. To reduce on the number of losses, especially the lives of its citizens and property, the local authorities have ordered the residents of the low-lying areas and areas near the coast to vacate the region. This situation has resulted to evacuation and emergency services to put the necessary measures meant for people who have been evacuated. The island's governments are in consultation with relevant non-governmental organizations and other humanitarian organizations in order to harness proper response to the calamity. It is suggested that people listen to the authorities and use preventative measures that may help avoid getting sick. According to its current forecast status, there are now forecasters that are aiming to track Beryl's track and development. The intensity of the storm is relatively high, and there are high chances of extensive damage, especially in various islands. Additional changes will be made depending on the new information that comes up on the issue. Evacuate if instructed. The guidelines do not remain rigid. Follow the local authorities' evacuation orders without waste. Stock up. Make sure that you have enough stock of water, food, as well as important medical supplies. Stay informed. Stay informed of what is happening in the world and when is the best time for outdoor activities. The forecast is quite unpredictable, and even the storm status of Hurricane Beryl, as well as its direction and intensity, can be altered. People are discouraged to be too casual with the subject and should exercise caution. The involved islands are now facing severities of the storm, such as heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and dangerous flooding from storm surges. Local authorities have ordered residents of lowland and seafront regions to disobey in a bid to avoid maximum loss of lives and property. Due to the constant precipitation from Storm Beryl, several islands are experiencing a situation of flooded territories. There has been serious flooding whereby several rivers have broken their banks and flooded streets and houses. In some cases, floodwater has enclosed whole districts, such that roads cannot be used to transport people and goods to centers such as hospitals. Ships and boats. A lot of ships moored at the shore had to withstand the hurricane-like winds and mammoth waves this storm brought. Some of the most common damages that have occurred have involved boats being capsized or dragged and thrown onto other boats or onto docks. Cars. Some of the parked cars have been washed away by the floods, or they remain immersed in water or placed at incongruous zones. This alone has led to damaging of many cars and resultant inoperability in many of them. Houses. Residential places have suffered the most from the Hurricane Beryl attack. People report roofs have been ripped off the houses, walls have fallen, and some people heard their houses were erased by the floods. Housing by and large has been attained, and the most paramount and urgent need is emergency shelter and relief. Evacuation centers are put in place while all the emergency agencies are on standby awaiting for the calamity to strike. The involved island governments are engaging non-governmental organizations to help in responding to the disaster as early as possible. People are advised to abide by the instructions of authorities and do what they have to do to avoid the virus. Currently, meteorologists are tracking the movement and strength of Beryl. The intensity of the storm is considered great, and the possibility of huge damage across several islands is observed. Evacuate if instructed. Act according to local authorities' signals to evacuate as soon as possible. Stay indoors. Take cover that is not within windows and doors to avoid being easily exposed to tear gas. Stock up. Make sure that you will have ample stocks on water, food, and vital drugs in readiness for the exercise. The position of slowly moving Hurricane Beryl and its strength and trajectory could still change. People are urged to stay alert and cautious, and always to avoid being a victim. News from Nature Reality.